Welcome. Hey, to this episode of My Personal Development. We're just going to talk about what Juneteenth is today. And this is embarrassing for me because I didn't know what it was, right? Maybe about, 3 to 5 years ago when I first kind of heard about it, I didn't know what it was. And I just assumed it was another celebration, right? Intended to remind Black Americans that we were slaves. I feel like there's a lot of little things done to try to get us to attach our identity to slavery, right? As if every other race hasn't been slaves also. Slavery is literally part of like the race life cycle, you know. So when I was first introduced to this Juneteenth, I had a bad view of it. You know, because I'm kind of protective of the Black psyche, right? The collective Black psyche. I understand, like, man, there's people trying to come at us with all kind of so I didn't like it. I feel like there's a lot that we're overcoming and that we've overcome historically. Why don't we highlight that? Right, but a lot of times the victim perspective is highlighted. And I feel like that's a perspective that's hammered into our heads by people who do not have our best interests at heart. Right? My honest feelings on it. So I had a bad view on Juneteenth, and then I did a little research. And like with most things that I don't like or see the value in, it's normally because I don't have proper understanding. So I did a little research on Juneteenth, and let's talk about what Juneteenth actually is. Juneteenth is the celebration of the last slaves that were freed in America, right? That's what I found after doing research. That's what Juneteenth is. And what I found is that the Emancipation Proclamation, that we've all heard that in school. Emancipation is such a long word, but it rhymes though. Emancipation Proclamation. But we hear that in school. I didn't really know what it was though. The Emancipation Proclamation was a federal law that abolished slavery, right? Saying slavery is illegal in this country of the United States. But you have federal law, you have state law, and you have city law, or town law, or county law, right? You have different levels of laws in this country. So when that federal law was passed, some states said, I'm going to keep my slaves. And 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was passed, federal officers had to go down to Galveston, Texas. Shout out to Beyonce and them. And they had to inform the slaves that slavery was over. So Juneteenth celebrates the last slaves being informed that slavery was over. Right? So what should we learn from Juneteenth? This whole June, what should we as Black Americans learn from it? Number one, we should learn that the Emancipation Proclamation was a federal law, which means slavery was a federal law. Slavery was also state law, I would imagine. Right? Meaning people sat down and structured this whole slavery thing out. It ain't something that just happened. This was a very structured attempt at creating an ecosystem of slavery. You know what I mean? Like that's what happened. So I think it really highlights the importance for us to get our own understanding of things, you know. Think about it. If just one slave had known that slavery was over in Galveston, they could have spread the word. They could have spread the word and could have tried to arrange something to speed up this process. But when you don't understand, people are willing to take advantage of you. And what that really means is if you don't understand, people will take advantage of you. Right? That's what everything we offer is about, continuing to learn, continuing to get your own understanding. Keep learning so you don't get hurt. Right? So that's the first thing we should learn, that the Emancipation Proclamation was federal law and that slavery was a law as well. What else should we learn from Juneteenth? What should it remind us of? I think one major thing is that since now we have the freedom to learn and to grow, we should take advantage of that freedom. Find out how things work. Understand the incentives in different situations, right? What can each party gain in the situation, right? So I think that's one of the major things that Juneteenth should remind us of as Black Americans. Get your own understanding, right? Do you know how to look up your city laws? Do you know how to look up your state laws? Do you know how to look up federal law? right? Get an understanding of the rules that are governing the territory. Like, rules kind of govern everything. The whole disability veteran thing that we do here, it's just rules, right? We're using the rules to navigate to get to whatever that tangible benefit is at the end. But it's just an understanding of the rules and how to navigate them, right? Words in this country, and English American words, are important. Understanding these words are important, right? So I think that's another thing that Juneteenth highlights. Get your own understanding, right? Use the tools out there to get your own understanding of things. Because if not, people will take advantage of you, right? Jim Rohn likes to say, hey, you better decide to chase your dream or somebody else is going to have you chasing their dream, right? But I think it comes down to a reminder of self-reliance. You can't rely on these folks to, 2.5 years, man. 900 days. And then after that, I'm sure it was still sticky. Because where you going to go? You're free, but where you going to go? Right? You're going to need some money to get a house with us. You coming right back in, we got to make some other arrangement, right? It wasn't really... They just took advantage of folks because of their lack of knowledge, right? We're going to force you to not be able to read and all that shit and scare you out of reading so you can get an understanding. We're going to prevent you from getting an understanding. And then we're going to take advantage of you every step of the way. That's what Juneteenth is about. If you don't have your own understanding, folks will take advantage of you. 2.5 years, 900 days. Still rocking like, we heard what they said, but we doing what we want to do. And most importantly, the slaves don't understand. So now that we have the freedom to learn, to grow, and since, if you want to keep it funky, in the late 1800s, there were rich black Americans. As soon as we were able to really kind of get out there and do that thing, we was doing it, baby. Right? All this other, bro, Robert Fortin, right? Sarah Boone, Mary Ellen Pleasant. These are black people from the late 1800s who were getting money out here, baby. Right? So the intention was for it to always be a struggle for us. It probably still is. And I know probably too, it still is. And what? You know what I mean? You see what's going on right now. Come on now. Come on now. We overcomers too. We definitely victims, no doubt about it. But we overcomers too. I think that's what this is a reminder of. To stay in that overcomer bag, to continue to learn, to continue to get your own understanding of things, right? Finding your powers. Find your powers. We got Finding Your Powers, the Black American's Guide to Understanding Power in Life. Whether you're going to use that tool or something else, get your own understanding, right? We lay out some simple goals for you, some simple actions for you, some simple values for you, and most importantly, some simple expectations. Know what to expect out here, right? It's not a new place. It's been around for a while. You know what I mean? Thousands of years at this point. So there's a way to approach this thing so you can get more stability and more recognition out of your life, right? But for me, with Juneteenth, I did a little research and there are some inspirational nuggets in here. It's a reminder for us, understand the rules, right? Understand the rules. That's number one. And get your own understanding of things, right? Self-reliance. Not saying that everybody's trying to take advantage of it. That's not true. But don't be surprised if a person is. It's just a human thing. That's all, right? Nothing is personal. Right? The mission is the mission, man. Stay focused on your mission. Hey, and as always, continue to explore the most fascinating thing about your life. Come on now. You know what it is. You. Baby, it's you. Come on, hey, if I can sing, I would do it, dog. Have an incredible day. Yeah.